Morning. It's Christmas Eve, and I've been at my parents' since Christmas Eve, Thursday. I've been at my parents since Tuesday. It's been quite a tumultuous few days. Mum was admitted to hospital a week ago today with a suspected stroke, and turned out it wasn't that, thankfully, but there were several other issues. Urinary tract infection, compacted bowel, and high lactic acid build-up in her bloodstream. And she was in there over all last weekend. And then I went back home, so I was at my parents' last weekend, and then I went back home on Monday. On Monday night, Dad had a fall, and with some cooperation from the neighbours and with me giving advice on WhatsApp, I managed to get him back on his feet. It wasn't a bad fall, he was just on his backside, thankfully. But he's a dead weight, so it was just really tough to get him back in an upright position, and his legs are really weak. And Mum was still in hospital at that point. And come Tuesday morning, Jeanette was in a bit of a tiz because there was the opportunity to get Mum out of hospital, but she didn't think she'd be able to cope with looking after both Mum and Dad. And I was in a bit of a quandary because my customers have been great this year throughout the coronavirus lockdown. They've helped and supported me and came back after the lockdowns and so on. And I didn't want to let them down before Christmas, but also I didn't want to let my family down either. Anyway, I was in a quandary as to what to do, and it just all amounted to having to make a decision. So I made the decision and sent my customers a very apologetic text message and explained the situation. And then I came through here on Tuesday. Mum came home, and she was a lot better, a lot more compos mentis, a lot more focused. And it just seemed like a lot of what she'd been experiencing more recently was maybe a result of these other issues. Anyway, yesterday morning I went in and to her bedroom, and she was fine. She was still good. An hour later, she dipped and she was delirious, didn't know what to do for the best. A little while after that, she was back to normal again. Then after that, she dipped again. It was really weird. Anyway, we got some food into her and she picked up, and she's been okay since, just a bit lethargic. And then last night, which was the Wednesday night, we had a Marie Curie nurse round for the first time to sit with Dad for the whole night. And that was kind of good because it meant he wasn't, if he wanted to do anything or go to the toilet or whatever, she was able to tend to all of that. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning now, and she's literally just left. So I thought I'd do this quick update before I go down and see my sister and see how things went. So that's where we're at the moment. Everybody's back home, and we're going to try and do Christmas as best we can. Got a load of stuff in the fridge and so on. I mean, Dad won't be able to eat a lot of it because he can't eat anything other than really, really soft liquid foods at the moment. He's even struggling to get his pills down. He's also just recently had what's called a syringe driver fitted, which is, it's like a bit like being on a drip. It just applies meds on a continuous basis through a cannula that's fitted into his shoulder. And that's actually helping him with his breathing. He's really struggling with his breathing, and he's got a lot of, they call it secretions on his lung, which makes him very gargly all the time, very rattly and so on. So yeah, it's not good. The situation's not good. Before I go, I'll just flip the camera around and I'll show you. So I'm actually in what used to be Mum's kind of room for storing paintings that she'd done and so on. Let me just get up and move around so you can. It's only a very small room, so there's just literally paintings everywhere on the wall that she's done, bits of artwork. Get out the lights, there we go. There's only the odd one or two, the ones that she hasn't done. And I brought my posh camp bed through, because obviously I'm going to be here for a few days. This is the one I use when I go glamping. So I'm staying in that over the Christmas period. And it's like living in a hotel, you know, when you live out of a suitcase. It's Christmas Day, 25th of December 2020. We had a doctor come out to Dad in the middle of the night around about 3 o'clock in the morning. He was struggling with breathing, and she's dispensed him. She added some extra meds into his syringe driver, and he calmed down and went back to sleep. And then when I went back to bed, I slept in. He's so weak today. I think we're moving into that stage where eating and drinking falls away. Then naturally, as you might expect, the rest happens relatively soon after.